these readings because they're something that we live out here at Our Lady of the Angels. When we come together for worship, the first thing we really have to do is set the tone for our gathering so that we can be attentive. And we do that because attentiveness can be challenging. Someone comes in late, all the heads go, A little kid gets a little antsy, So attentiveness can be a little bit challenging. And yet our tone is that of welcome. We start by going around the community to welcome people and to have them stand up and to tell us who they are and where they're from. Because that personal touch, that welcoming, I think is so very important. It's a personal expression of our thankfulness that they're there. They're here with us to celebrate. And then, of course, the second thing we do is we tell you to put your cell phones in airplane mode. And then the third thing that we do is we ask you to stand up and to greet those around you. Say hello, reach out, and be welcoming, and again, help to set that tone of attentiveness. And so Jesus tells us in the gospel what's really essential, doesn't he? And that Mary has chosen the better part. All he wants us to do is to find him in our midst and to be with him. But this does require putting aside some of those tools that envelop us. It requires putting away the mindset of anxiety and distraction so that we can be clearly focused on what he asks of us. And so we are invited to be a disciple attuned to Jesus in the same way that we hear Mary was in the gospel today. Have you ever noticed that with Jesus, we're not judged by how much we can accomplish, but we're accepted for who we are? That's one of the greatest experiences of compassion, mercy, love. We're not judged. We're accepted as to who we are. So now, let us then consider the mindset of anxiety and distraction. Worry and anxiety. Well, as I was looking around thinking, what kind of an example could I use for this? Well, it's so clear. Facebook and Twitter. Facebook and Twitter offer a worldwide worry that fuels our anxiety and often gives us and fosters a sense of meaninglessness or helplessness. And if you pair that up with daily life and what goes on each and every day in our lives, I think it's overwhelming. We can become overwhelmed with that. Now, how many of you people out there feel this way at different times, so much that you really don't get a good night's rest? Toss and turn, up and down, not a good night's rest because you've got too much running around up here so that there's no peace and calm for you to actually rejuvenate and be ready for the next day. Now, let me ask you, all of you people out there, how many of you people have a smartphone? Raise your hand. Smartphones, they are the new body appendage. They are the new body appendage because they are attached somewhere on us. And hence, that's why we ask you at the beginning of the celebration to turn them off so that we don't have any interruptions. Okay. So now, what do we have with the smartphone? We have total electronic connectedness. We are totally electronically connected. And what else we have with the smartphone? We are totally humanly disconnected. Interesting, isn't it? So, an example of that? It's Pokemongo. When I first heard the word Pokemongo, I thought it was an exotic fruit at AJ's. Little did I know. I had someone help me look at this, and I didn't do a lot of research because it's just not in my purview. But I'll tell you, when I was reading the paper this morning, worldwide, They are bringing in $2 million a day. Wonder what that's going to be used for.
Yeah.
Will it be for the homeless? Will it be to feed the hungry? What will it be used for? So I think sometimes, not that it's bad, but we certainly have our priorities a little out of whack. So, and then of course, as I was talking with Adam earlier, he said, what about those two guys who were so engrossed in Pokemon Go that they climbed over a fence that said, do not climb, do not go to the edge of the cliff, which they did, and they both fell over. In Encinitas, it was in the paper. Now, really? And that's all I'm going to say. So let's get back to the gospel, because that's what we're supposed to be talking about. Let's get back to the gospel. Because Mary and Martha are really an invitation for us to revise or to change our reality. And we create our own reality. And the good news for us in what we create in a life of faith is that Jesus really wants us to be with him. He wants us to be with him. And that was the response that he gave to Martha in her moments of anxiety. And he puts the focus on be with rather than doing. And oftentimes, it's so much easier to get caught up in that doing part than in the being part. Because I believe if we really do yearn for an in-depth relationship with Jesus, the one that Mary had with him, this requires putting aside that mindset of anxiety and distraction, because we have to begin to focus. Martha, there she is, trying to ensure the gift of hospitality, which is very important. And we heard that in the reading with the three men who came up, who were invited to sit under the tree, have their feet washed with nice water, and be fed. Hospitality was hallmarked in the people who were in the desert. And he didn't say, have water to drink first. He said, have water to bathe your feet, because it's hot and dusty. So now Martha, there she is harried. Lord, tell my sister to help me. And he gives her a very kind answer, which it's not what she wants to hear. But if you dig a little bit deeper into Martha's response, Martha, the unfortunate part is that what overshadows her efforts and desire for hospitality is that she really wants to be acknowledged for it. She wants to be acknowledged for it. And I think this is true for us in our social media today, to be acknowledged for it. So today, you know, what is the gift of our being here today right now? The gift is 1 hour when you're given the opportunity, along with myself, to be like Mary, to be attuned to Jesus in the Word and at the table. 1 hour. And so I want to congratulate you, because you are now the survival class of those who are present with Jesus in Word and Sacrament, and you survive the lack of total electronic connectedness. And so I guess to look at moving forward with what's offered to us and what we're called to be, not what we're called to do, but what we're called to be, is that I would pray that God would continue to inspire you and to bless you in your efforts to value being with the Lord as his disciple. You are valued. Value that gift. Amen.
Amen.